Hello and welcome. We're live here at Tiger Vision. We are Duval. I'm here, Mondre Allen, here with Coach Cabral Huff. Coach, how you feeling, brother? How you doing?
Oh man, doing well, man. It's Thursday. Close to the game day, so ready to get after it.
I imagine you're feeling pretty good. Second best record in the conference as far as overall wins, right behind Miles. One win off their heels. I imagine that feels pretty good.
It does. I mean, we also feel we left a couple of wins on the table, so it's just a matter of continuing to get better every day, man. But obviously, we like where we are right now.
Want to take a look at the conference standings really quick. I feel like I want to get us conditioned to going here and looking at the conference standings. I mean, since we were picked to finish, where we were picked to finish preseason, I feel like every time we jump on, man, we just gonna, put it up on the screen. Wow, look at there. Not in the back of the conference like it was predicted to be. Who would have ever guessed it? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let it go. My bad. But right there, they need to update us. We are 10-3.
We are
in conference. We're not 9-3. We are 10-3 in the conference. And overall wins at 14-6, right behind Miles. Miles, this is not a Miles show, but 12-1 in conference, 15-3 overall. And we saw a couple of their losses right there at the Clayton State Classic. And boy, were those games could have gone either way against some really tough competition.
Yep.
Kentucky State having a much improved year. They're battling. Tuskegee is battling above 500. When I look, wow, Central State at 500. How about that?
Coach Lewis is doing a great job in his first year. Former assistant at Cleveland State, he's come in and just changed the trajectory of that program. They're a tough squad. We had our hands full when we went up to Ohio to face them early in the year.
Man, when you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in the SIAC that are 500 and better overall rankers, Coach, does that I know it speaks to the toughness of the league, but I guess I'll ask a different question. Does the SIAC, are you guys getting enough love for the level of competition that's in the league right now, do you think?
I don't think so because, outside looking in, they'll just say they're beating up on each other. That's why it's like that. But I think what it's saying is that on any given night, anybody can beat you. I mean, to get a road win in this conference is tough. And if you really paid attention to scores of roads when teams are on the road, I don't care if you're talking about Miles, us, Albany State, whoever you're talking about who are considered the top of the league, Clark, Atlanta, it's tough, man. It's tough. And so winning by 1, 2, 3, a win is a win. And I think people need to understand how good this league is this year.
Man, seeding going to be so important.
It's really important this year, Mondre, because the conference tournament is a little bit different. The two number 1 seeds on each side will get a bye into the quarterfinals. But if you are the number 1 seed, if you're the higher seed, 2 through 4 on each side, then you get a home game to start the conference tournament before you head to Atlanta.
Oh, wow. Okay, so not everything being held at a single site like it was previously.
First round games are at the higher seed site.
Wow. Hey, listen, I'm be honest. I kind of like it. I kind of like rewarding teams that have been successful with another home game. I kind of like it. Hey, relish and enjoy and flourish. Get you another home gate.
Right.
Pack it out. Make that money. Hey, listen, I kind of like it.
I just talked about how tough it is to win on the road. So
yeah, I kind of like it. I know people. Don't get me wrong. Conference tournament usually are all neutral site games, and but I kind of like it to have the pageantry of the fans and all that stuff for your first round game. If you get the higher seed, but the first seeds, the number one seeds, don't get to enjoy that, right? They got to go site and play right out, right?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, there's a good and a bad of it. You know, I'll take being the number one seed if that's what it comes down to. But you also wouldn't mind having a home game, you know.
I bet. What does that do for scouting though? Because you're usually able to watch all of the games. I know how diligent you guys are watching everybody because you don't know the matchups and how things are going to go out. You guys are typically watching for wrinkles, for adjustments, for different things that weren't done during the regular season. How does that impact? Because now those first round games will be at home.
It's probably just looking at, you know, how that the bracket fares, and you're going to see who you could face next if you're that number one seed, and just kind of look at those two teams. But then once you get to that site, it's back to normal business and kind of looking at everybody who you may face.
For sure. We may do some pick 'em here. I won't ask you to join, but maybe myself, maybe I'll get Dave or somebody to jump on, and once the seating is in place, we'll do some live pick 'em on the show.
But if you look at how close those standings are, that could come down to the final game of the regular season.
Listen, there are too many games that are coming down to the last possession.
Yeah,
like I am sick of it. I talked to Alfred Jordan over at Clark. I know you and Alfred are close. Myself and Alfred were close. I was supporting him when he was an assistant at Clark. We got to know each other well while he was still an assistant coach. I don't want to play them anymore. Like I'm over it. I'm over it. Every game down to the last possession, I am completely over it. I hope they're on the other side of the bracket. I'm done.
Every time we play them, it's come down to the last possession. Every time.
I am done. Coach, last 4 games, we win 3 out of 4. All of them relatively close. You talk about how hard it is to get road kills in this league, and it is definitely tough. The schedule has shown that, but the good guys were able to come out on top 3 out of 4. Care to give us any kind of opening statement on what you've learned about the team, how you're feeling about how we're doing so far?
Just to find a way bunch of guys, man. We just have found a way to get it done. You know, no matter what the circumstances. If anybody's been paying attention, we've been a little banged up. Haven't had our full arsenal, but other guys have stepped up, and you've seen that in this 4-game stretch, which I know we'll talk about a little more. So, you know, the opportunity for us hopefully to get healthier, that's obviously on the horizon. But really, the depth of our team and the next man up mentality has really been showing.
Absolutely. Want to put this up on the board as we started off that 4-game road winning streak. This is how we got started. What a way to kick it off. Hey, if you know, this Morehouse win is very important. You know, and I hated missing out on this one. I was there last year and we were able to get them. I hated missing out on this one, but the good guys come out on top, 70-66 over Maroon Tigers. We got Jacoby Williams, who is, man, come on, player of the year. 17 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. Coach, talk to us about how you feel about getting the win over the Maroon Tigers in Morehouse.
Obviously, one of the premier programs of the SIAC. So definitely a tough game. We knew how physical that game was going to be. Had 4 guys be in double figures, obviously led by Jacoby. We really shot the ball well from the field, you know, over 47% from the field. I don't think we closed it, you know, we didn't close the game out like I would have liked from the free throw line. which was ironic because the 2 previous games we hadn't missed a free throw, right? Fort Valley and Albany stayed on the road, and we come home and we kind of struggled at the line, man, which kind of, no disrespect to Morehouse, but allowed them to just keep hanging around, and score was tighter than we liked. But our guys found a way with 4 guys in double figures. A couple of guys who came off the bench in that game, Trevino Glover, Jeremiah Cartain, Christian Ford coming off the bench to really provide some much needed spark offensively.
For sure. One thing I always look at during the season is, how you're getting contribution from the young guys and from some of the transfer guys that have come in. We talked about Jacoby, but man, 27 minutes from Miles Holston, and didn't have the best shooting day, but he found a way on the boards, block shots. If you look at it there, like got a steal, like he found other ways to contribute and find ways to help push us to victory. And when you look at his line and say, okay, 4 points, but man, 7 boards, 4 blocks against a Morehouse team that's always big and physical and tough to play against. Tell me what you've learned about the freshman over the course of the season.
He just keeps learning, man, and keeps getting better. He has a knack of impacting games in different ways. Like you said, whether it's rebounding, whether it's blocking shots, or whether it's, scoring. And I think that's really been really big for him, is just understanding what it takes every night to be successful in this league. And he's done that. And he's been a huge part of our success so far.
For sure. We still find ways to, score the ball. We still find ways to score the ball. We shot close to 50% from the field as a team. Coach, and it's one thing if it was just this game, but starting to be a trend. What's clicking right now for us offensively, or what do you feel like was working really well in the Morehouse game?
Ball movement. We were really moving the basketball. Guys were getting to their spots. They were finding the open man, and ball wasn't sticking. When we do that, I think this team can really, score the basketball. And then especially if we can control the glass and get out and rebound. If I'm not mistaken, if I look, in all of D2, we're in the top 50 in some categories which allow us to be able to get out and score the basketball. We're 20th in all of D2 in fast break points. But that comes from being our defense. We're top 50 in field goal defense percentage. We're top 50 in 3-point field goal defensive percentage, and then we're top 50 in steals. So we're getting them to turn the ball over. We're getting to get stops, and then we can get out and run. And then when we add ball movement and offensive efficiency to that, which we've got to improve on, there's no mistake about that. I think we can really score the basketball.
For sure. Coach, now we get to the second game out of that 4-game stretch, and we drop one to Clark. Jeremiah Cortain leading the way, 13 points, 4 rebounds. And as we kind of mentioned, I'm so over these guys, man. For those that aren't aware, last year at home we played them. It's a 1-point game. It goes down to the buzzer, or 1 possession game that is on the final possession. We go to their place. They hit a shot, final possession of the game. And now we're back to a 1-possession game again. Now, the good news is we're battling like that against the team that won the league and went to the Division II tournament. So, okay, if you could take a silver lining out of it, but I'm sick of them, Coach. Give me some good news, man. How are we feeling about our performance against Clark Atlanta?
It was a tale of 2 halves, man. I thought we controlled the first half and they controlled the second half. And the way they controlled the second half was what got us. They had more points in the paint and they controlled the glass. And that really got them to win. Even on the bucket they got with 5 seconds left, it was on a putback. And that was the tell of the game. I think I read a story on that game that said both teams played exactly the way they've been playing all year. The other team just did what they did with the last opportunity. And what I meant by that was that we were able to score off turnovers and then fast break points, and they were able to score points in the paint and off rebound, offensive rebounds. And that hurt us, and we challenged our guys to be better and understand what it's going to take when we have to face them or anybody like them again.
Still shot a pretty good percentage as a team from the floor.
Right.
I mean, we're plus 40 from the field.
And that's good versus them. Clark, Miles, Tuskegee, us, Savannah State are in the top of D2 as far as defensive field goal percentage. So that was a plus for us. For sure.
Jacoby led us again. He's got 19 in this game. Had some turnovers there, but, still played well. Got other guys coming in and contributing to the game. Coach, can you feel it when you line up against Clark? Like, do you guys kind of know, like, this is going to be another one? Like, it's going down to the last possession.
Yes.
Whoever got the ball last, that's what it's going to be.
Yes. Well, I think John Madden said it's going to be a slobber knocker or whatever.
Right. I guess as a player, that's probably pretty fun, right? Like as a player, like you enjoy like those type of battles. As a coach, I'm sure you probably rather the games be a little more decided.
Right.
Coming down the stretch, man. We'll go over to our next contest, and the good guys get back in the winner's circle as we expect to be. I say that like winning is so easy.
It's not, Mondre. It's not.
By the way, I love getting an opportunity to just sit up here and talk like this. Like winning is just like this is the easiest thing in the world. Like, oh, we won again. I love being able to do that. I know it's not easy, but I love being able to talk like that. Edward Waters 73 over Benedict 73-71. We got to get something on the jerseys or something on the warm-ups or something that says the real Tigers. There's too many other Tigers.
A lot of Tigers in this company. A lot of Tigers.
And big cats in the SIAC. But 73-71, Vino Glover coming up big, 7 made threes. Man, that kid is battled. Coach, tell us your thoughts about this game.
Well, let's start off with Vino. Like, heck of a game, 7 threes, including the one that give us the win, the lead with 13 seconds left, huge three. It was a battle from the jump. And if you really look at numbers, sometimes you have games, you look at numbers and I say, oh, we're supposed to win that game. Sometimes you look at numbers and say, I don't know how we won that game. And if you really look at numbers in that game, you can say, I don't know how we won. We didn't shoot it as well as we wanted to. We didn't hold them to shooting. Like they shot over 50% from the game, which that doesn't happen versus us normally.
Yep.
It everything felt like it wasn't supposed to be our night, but Vino Glover changed that. He changed that. So that sometimes you finding a way, and that's what this team has done is finding a way to win, especially battling injuries and down a couple of starters.
You've had to battle like that for a good part of the season. People may not realize that. We talked about what happened in the Clark game. You're missing some pretty big pieces inside for that game as well. So this team has been battling and finding a way all year long.
And we talk about, it wasn't just Vino. Deshaun Edwards really stepped up that game versus Benedict as well. And being able to help us space the floor and do some things on the offensive end and just bring us energy as well.
Coach, tell me one thing. How do you get guys to really stay ready? To me, the winning streak is a product of guys who, you mentioned Deshaun Edwards, a guy who early on in the season may have not been playing a big role or playing big minutes, but has stayed ready. And then when called upon, been able to give you minutes when needed and give you production. We talked about Adonis and different guys. Like it always seems like it's a different guy. that's coming in and stepping up, playing big. Even Cyrus, playing big. Like guys' roles are changing and things are developing. How do you keep guys in that mindset of staying ready mentally and being ready to contribute like that?
It's a product of practice, man, and how you practice. Like how you practice is going to determine how much you play. And then we always tell guys the flow of the game is also going to determine. There are guys who are better in certain kind of games than others. And that's how we kind of constructed this team to be able to do it a lot of different ways. Do we want to score close to 80 points a game every day? We do. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what we want to do. But there are going to be games we got to grind it out. There are going to be games people are going to zone us. There are going to be games people are going to press us, and it's going to be up and down. So we've got to be able to play in every situation, in every way. And that's going to require differences. And you've got to have the depth and guys be ready mentally. And if they're not, and they understand if they're not mentally ready to play in practice, then don't expect that you're going to get those minutes in the game. And sometimes it's a harsh reality, especially early on. Well, I'm not playing. But then to say, well, this guy is. And it can flip, It can flip.
Yeah. Grading practice, man. That's the type of work that people don't pay attention to, man. Those practice grades. Do you guys discuss that with the team, or is it visible to how you guys grade their practice?
I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times it's Coach Britt's gonna let you know. And you might not like it. But
gotta respect it.
It is what it is. It's hard, but it's fair,
Listen, I talk to a lot of players, a lot of kids that I've either coached or just stay in contact with. And I say this in all seriousness. There are a lot of kids who will tell you that they don't know why they aren't playing, right? And my instinct is, normally, I never believe it. But as you get to know people and you watch enough practices, you realize that that's not always communicated. That you don't always know when you're having a bad day in the coach's eyes. I think, if Britt is the guy that delivers the news, I always, at least
a film session with Britt and Reedy, and you'll know why. I'm being honest. Like when they go in that film session,
yes,
and they're breaking you down, like, and you've seen guys who've taken that accountability,
yes,
of the criticism of your game, and seeing guys explode after it.
Yes,
you've seen guys pout a little bit, then they explode. It's all how you handle it, but it's all comes from love. We're all gonna make mistakes. Us as coaches, we're gonna make sudden mistakes. We're gonna make offensive or defensive play call mistakes. They're gonna make a turnover. How do we respond from that, right? How do we respond for that?
I think it's huge. And I think it's a great thing. Because like you said, if you know what you're doing wrong and you can accept it and you can fix it, to me, it's a confidence builder. It's not to tear you down. That's a confidence builder because you could be left in the dark, not knowing what's going on.
It's so funny because, we had an instance like that today in practice where a guy wasn't doing what we needed him to do and got called out on it. But instead of pouting and saying, the guys are going to have that moments. They're adults. You don't have just 18-year-olds. You got 22, 23, like had that moment. But then when he gets that rep again, in practice, now he's doing exactly what we told him he needs to be doing.
For sure. It's how you get it done. We talk about film. We're going to go here and look at some live action from our next game here. And Huff, hopefully you can set this up for us.
This is versus Allen, and it's just we're coming down on a play call that we've called, and we thought they were overplaying a little bit, and our guys did a great job of reading and doing some stuff on this play. So you'll see some action here on one side of the floor, and we want to flip it to the other side of the floor and really create space on if you want to call it the weak side of the floor where it's wide open.
Hey, Huff, you're lucky I'm not still coaching, man. I would have this film, and it will be being ran in my practice. Hey man, I don't. Why did he bite on?
Well, I mean, you got to realize that. And last year, if I'm not mistaken, Amari was probably about a plus 35% 3-point shooter. And I think he's still there this year. And he's, had games of 4 threes in a game, and he made some. And, obviously he's a 3-and-D guy and could do a lot. And so if you're going by numbers and how they were playing defense, the guy, that was the next, like, maybe he thought it was going to be a handoff, a dribble handoff, or maybe it was going to be a catch and shoot opportunity. And he bid on it, and Amari did a great job of reading it. And it was a great pass by Cyrus. We work with our bigs on being able to make those kind of passes and plays.
Hey, you talking about the film room conversation? If I was that man that was in help and I got Amari Floyd coming at me like a freight train because you let him go backdoor like that. Oh, we having a conversation in film. Don't be getting me dunked on like that. Man, Amari is one of those kids. Huff, we talked about him a lot last year. He was one of my favorites. I always pick out 1 or 2 or something like that on the team. Amari was one of my guys that I looked at and was like, yo, like this kid is so good. Like he's got a chance to be so good. I feel like he's still
just scratching the surface.
Like he's got a chance to be incredible. What has it been like? Like you, I don't think he had an offer when you recruited him.
Did not have an offer from anywhere. The ties of a former Morehouse brother hitting me up, who coached him in high school, told me I needed to take a chance on him. So I dove into his film and really watched him. He's a kid that was giving Jabari Smith buckets in high school. And so I'm sitting there like, is there something I'm missing? So you always got to do your research. So he played in the region with some guys I knew. So I called other coaches in that region. I said, tell me about this young man. And there wasn't one coach in that region that said I shouldn't take him, how good he had a chance to be. And I think the year of basically redshirting, as he was with me at Voorhees, helped. And people forget he played out of position last year, basically. Yeah. Because we didn't have the size that we had this year. So I think that helped him. And we challenged him in the offseason of how he had to get better. And he came back better, right? And we're going to challenge him again in this offseason of what he's got to do to get better even more.
I love it, man. I love it. That kid is at the right time. He is peaking at the right time.
And he defends he defends. I'll just say that. If you know, you know.
Coach, do we need to reevaluate and look at Defensive Player of the Year in the SIAC? I'm not saying he is outright the Defensive Player of the Year, but he's got to be in the conversation, right? I watched him against guys in the Peach Belt. I mean, he might as well have been handing out straight jackets out there. He's locking up some big time guys. Got it.
You said it. I didn't.
We need that. The good guys win 61-56 over Allen.
A grind out game, and obviously, you look at that game and Jacoby and Amari kind of led us. But there was, Jeremiah had a really good game, but Adonis Tolbert, again, he didn't play versus Morehouse and Clark because of, sickness, right, and injury. So now for him to have to step up, Miles is out, so Adonis stepping up and really played big for us in this game versus Allen and making an impact.
That's huge. Staying ready. Guys being ready. Well, Coach, let's get to what we got coming up here, as we've got some good basketball coming up here on the calendar. We got Saturday at Savannah State. Gotta pack that one out. I mean, that's a short trip up the road.
That's a rivalry, man. Hopefully they have some seats for some fans that want to come. Like, it's gonna be it's a rivalry, so you just got to be ready to play. Got to be ready to play.
Got to be ready to go. 4 p.m. at Savannah State. I saw some material coming out from the SIAC. I give you guys a hard time. I got to celebrate you when you deserve it. This game, according to the SIAC, will be broadcast on the SIAC network. If I'm not mistaken, the web address is www.siacnetwork.tv. If that is not the case, you can go to the Twitter account for the SIAC. They did post it. So I saw it on a graphic. I am certain of it because I shared it with lots of people when I saw it. So I will celebrate you, SIAC. You have great basketball in conference. When you celebrate it, when you market it, I have to applaud you because I would give you a hard time when you don't. But you can check the games out on the SIAC network. Make sure you get the details. If you're having trouble watching the game, I like to tell people because people sometimes will give up. They try to watch the game one particular way, and if the one way they wanted to watch the game, it doesn't work, they just kind of give up about it. I'm going to give you my go-to moves when it comes to making sure that you can find the basketball game of your liking, and if your first option doesn't work. If your first option doesn't work, come to the Edward Waters Athletics page.
There you go.
Always check the Edward Waters Athletics page before you give up because they have these little live video links right here. These little live video links. And sometimes when maybe you couldn't find it, or let's say you can't find it on the SIC network and you can't make the drive to Savannah, man, you got a bad transmission or your tail light is broke and you don't want to chance it, whatever it is. You heard they don't have Raising Cane's in Savannah, whatever reason you feel like you can't make it. Go check the Edward Waters Athletics website, click on men's basketball, check for the live video link, see if the live video link is there. If we're not playing at home, if we're playing on the road like we are at Savannah State and you want to support the Tigers, head over to Savannah State Athletics website, check their men's basketball page, see if there's a link visible there. Last case scenario, type in Savannah State University Athletics on YouTube and see if you can find it that way. These guys deserve the extra effort. They deserve the extra effort. The next thing I will ask you to do if you're watching the game, man, take a picture while you're watching it. Take a picture of the score. Tweet it out. Tweet it out. EWU_MBB is right down there at the bottom of your screen. Tweet it out. Tag coach. Let the coaching staff know and the kids know that you're showing your support. We prefer that you make the trip to Savannah. Carpool. All of y'all put in 10. That's gas, back, and snacks. Everybody put in 10. You got 4 people in the car with you. Everybody put in 10. That's enough to get you to Savannah, get you back, and road snacks, man. Y'all can make that happen. But if you can't, make sure you watch it online and make sure that you tag EWU_MBB. And no, I am not changing the Twitter graphic to the X logo. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to call it X. It's always going to be Twitter. So, for those that were wondering. I got to do that, man. You would not believe how many times I have people ask me about how to tune in and catch the game. sometimes you got to put in a little work.
Hey, we tell our guys to put in extra work, so put in some extra work to watch these guys with the work they've been putting in so far this season.
Facts. It won't be long. Listen, the games are going to be easy to watch here coming up soon. There's going to be so much winning that it'll be national TV games here in a minute. Don't worry, but Rome's not built in a day, brick by brick, right?
Brick by brick.
So now we got to go to the SIC network. And I'm so grateful that they're doing it. Honestly, I play around a lot, but I'm so grateful that they tweeted that out and that the SIC network is going to be showing men's college basketball. Now I'm going to get a call and somebody going to tell me that that's been the way it is forever. Maybe so. But I'm happy I saw it. Savannah State coach. I don't know how we feel about Savannah State, what we think about Savannah State. They lost a legend. I feel like I'm still reeling from.
They did lose a legend, but they didn't lose players. So
very true. Very true.
They're still going to be very tough defensively. It's going to be a physical game. Are we going to be able to match their physicality? That's going to be the key, man. Are we going to be able to match their physicality? Are we going to be able to, as we say, dictate? Can we dictate offensively as a team, right? And then match their physicality. I think those are two of the biggest key factors of the game right there.
For sure. Looking forward to that matchup on Saturday at Savannah State. After that, we'll get some time off, Coach. You got a full week before you play your next game, and you get a home game against Allen on Greek night. Let me ask this, Coach. What's your preferred cadence between games? Are you the type of guy that sometimes likes to have the extended breaks to get guys healthy, or would you rather stay in a rhythm?
I think you can use them. You can use them, and it always happens around rivalry week, so you know it's coming. So that helps because you got in your rhythm of your Saturday, Monday, and to be able to play that Saturday and know you don't have to go that Monday. It gives the guys a little time. It's a mental and physical refresher, to be honest, and hopefully that time also helps us with some things that we need to do for our bodies, right? So I don't mind it, not one bit.
If the guys win, do they get a day off? Will they get an extra day off from practice if they win? I'm fighting for you, K4. K4, baby. I know you watching, K4. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for you to get an extra day off if y'all win.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is a standard is a standard. And they know those 7 standards that we gotta have for each game. So
we gotta hit them all, man. We gotta take care of business and hit them all. But after a rivalry win, my vote doesn't mean anything. Rudy's probably going to text me right now because I know Rudy's watching. My vote doesn't mean anything. But after a win at Savannah State on rivalry week, look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. Rudy, they deserve a day off if we win. If we win, they deserve an extra day off. That Monday should be no practice. Come in, get treatment, but no practice. I'm fighting for it.
We'll let you know.
Listen, I'm saying that, and the way y'all kids are, they probably just gonna be in the gym anyway.
Sometimes we have to tell these jokers, like, listen, no.
Go home.
Right. You can be a regular college student right now.
I love it, man. I love it. Wait, all standards?
Oh, yes, that's I like it, T. Really know what we're talking about.
All standards plus a W, and we'll talk about it. See, hey, listen, guys, I fight for you. I take up for you. But now you got to go do it. It's in your hands. Wow. I tell you, Reedy tough, man.
He's a silent tough one.
We mentioned you get a week off, you come back, you get Greek night at home, February 8th, Saturday at 7:30 against Allen. I expect Greek night is going to be packed.
It'll be especially that Allen is our AME partner, so it should be pretty live in Adams Jenkins.
It's going to be packed. We're going to see. Are we going to see strolling on the sidelines? And
probably will.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Coach, there was a question that doesn't have anything to do with this, but it's a basketball question. I saw it on Twitter. I gotta ask you.
Okay.
And this one, I feel like I have to ask because your perspective is going to be super unique. You are a Georgia guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're turning you into a Florida guy, but
Correct.
For now, it hasn't fully set in, taken place yet. We're still calling you a Georgia guy. It's only year 2. There was a question on Twitter about who is the best high school basketball player that you ever saw in person. You have a lot of personal relationships. I know that's tough, Coach. Do you have to pass? Can you give an answer?
I'm going to give
you Jaylen Brown now.
I've seen a lot. So, in all honesty, the best player I saw play was Dwight Howard and Lou Will.
I would agree.
Lou Will in high school was just something different, like just something different. But I was coaching and saw Dwight Howard, right? I was just watching Lou Will. I was coaching and saw Dwight Howard. And this is a funny story about that. So, and that Dwight Howard team had Javaris Crittenton on it. And they
one of the best point guards I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
They were loaded. So I'm at Washington High School. And our team's pretty good. Like, we had Rashad Jones. Rashad Jones went on to play in the NFL, Miami Dolphins safety, played at University of Georgia. We had George Duke Robinson, who went on to play offensive tackle at the Carolina Panthers, went to Oklahoma Sooners, right? He was our center, right? We had Amadi McKenzie, who went on to play at Tennessee Tech, played overseas, made a lot of money. Like, he's still in Atlanta. So we had some guys. So George Duke Robinson is 6'6", 6'7", 300 pounds, but nimble. Like, he's our center. He drop steps and he hits you. And that wasn't a dude we played that he went hit and he'll just go up and dunk on, right?
Right.
So before the game, there's a football coach. I won't name his name. And that's the time, they're talking about this kid's going straight to the NBA. And, that kid's not good enough, blah, 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 all this. So doing pregame warm-ups, like, when teams are warming up, Dwight's shooting threes and making them. I'm like, okay.
I feel like he's still doing that in warm-ups.
Yeah, right. Now he wants to be a center now. He's asking the late. But anyway, we won't talk about that. So George, we throw the ball into George Duke Robinson, and he hits Dwight with his patented move. Drop step, right into his shoulder. Dwight goes back a little bit. He goes up to try to dunk that ball, and Dwight sent that jump to the stands. And I was turning trying to find that football coach. Like, what? Yeah, I mean, but I've been able to see a lot of guys in person, man. But that was just different, man. Like, he was just different. Obviously I've been able to coach some guys, coach against Devin Vassell, who plays with the Spurs, coach against Jaylen Brown, Colin Sexton, the list goes. Like, I'm not afraid to admit, Colin dropped 40 on me in a state playoff game. And my thought pattern was, let Colin get what he wants to get, and we're going to stop everybody else.
Right. Hey, y'all made the game entertaining, though.
We did. It was a good game. Played against BJ Boston. So I've had some opportunities to play against some guys who are very, very, very talented. So Georgia's had some guys, man. Malik is killing it right now with Detroit, by the way. Like,
yes.
he might be leading the league. I think he might be leading the NBA in threes right now.
Everybody that leaves the Lakers immediately goes and plays extremely well. Plays extremely well. I got to give LeBron his props when it's time to give him his props, but I also have to say, here lately, that hasn't always been the case. A lot of guys, when they didn't play with LeBron, fell off a cliff early on in his career.
Right.
Late in his career, there's a lot of guys that are leaving, especially leaving the Lakers and going to play extremely well. Another Georgia guy left the Lakers and went and won a championship. So shout out to Corey Black.
Caldwell Pope.
And Caldwell Pope.
Reedy will like that. He plays for Reedy's team right now, so he'll like that one.
Yeah. Well,
hey, I'll tell you what. Probably the show that needs to happen is the uncut version of what happens on the bus trips between me, Reedy, Britt, Coach Jackson, Coach Green, as we talking basketball on our road trips, the men and women staff. Those are some interesting and great conversations there, boy.
Hey, Reedy is a Florida homer. We're not talking like Reedy. Reedy, come on. You got another year. Orlando will be good next year. You guys will be right there next year.
You say if they make the right trade, they're gonna be right there this year.
Reedy. We'll see. Y'all can't beat the Hawks.
I don't know. Jalen Johnson's down for the year.
He's out?
Yeah, he got a torn labrum, so that we don't make a trade, we're gonna be in trouble.
Hey, my bad, Huff. It's over with. You gotta put up a bat signal. It's over with.
Yeah.
Okay, got a video coming up. We're gonna get away from that. Because them Hawks without Jalen Johnson back there with Trae Young is crazy. Here we go. We should be able to hear sound.
Need y'all today. Need y'all. Really just want y'all to play for one another, man. Because we don't get opportunities. I grew up in.
You got sound, Huff?
I got sound.
Okay, I'll be having to check this thing. I never know when it pipes the sound.
And I never thought I would ever be able to coach or be on this stage. And so that's why I treat y'all like family, because y'all are. And we are family, man. We are. And I want y'all to go out there and play like that. And leave on the court exactly how y'all love one another. We y'all playing with each other, joking with one another, and having fun. And when we having fun in practice, you love on somebody. That's the same energy y'all want out there. That's the same execution, effort, enthusiasm. I want out there for the field. Just leave everything you got on the floor. Because that's all we got to do. No matter what people may say about EWU, we're here to do work for you, for us, for each family that's in it. We love you, Lord. And no harm or any come to any player on your team. Amen. Let's go get it.
Mr. Beat the Roll, Mr. Swing Up Baby, Mr. Move That Dog. A lot of motion, a lot of dog, a lot of traffic beating that out. The trap, women, baby, you know we got big pots. Made millions off the chicken talking, I was skip college. 10 pointers moonwalking, baby, I got big diamonds. The big pull up TRX, we love big body. Ain't no worry about what they doing, baby, cause we on both. Spent the 20 ball in Louis, left with 3 outfits. You know you the biggest, baby, ain't nobody seeing you. Pull up like double off, interior, Easter blue. I know you tired of Chick-fil-A. Come up, baby, stay. Crackers get me, I want you to wait for me like I'm Future and Drake. 3,500 to put these on your feet. I'ma wake them up for acting like they sleep. They ain't wanna see me make it, just had their nuts crossed. I say I'm flat screen, interior, duck sauce. Switching up my car so them folks don't know what I'm in. Cut straight off the PJ, jumped in the sprinter van. Wrist game battle, power play capture.
Hey man, we make some upgrades. Hey, we got some footage, man. Coach, I love the message going into the game. I love that message. Um, like how much do you feel like these guys are like? Because I still feel like there's more even from this team, but do you feel like? I guess first things first. Let me say this: I go back every now and then, and I look at your opening press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember asking you the day of the press conference, we did a show right after the press conference. And I asked you, does it feel real yet? And I asked you about first practice and how things were going to be. You had a very clear vision for what this program was going to be. You set some lofty expectations that even gave me cause to pause, right? But now you're knocking at the door of some of those expectations, man. Does it feel real that this is actually really happening right now?
It does, but you can't get complacent. You can't say we've arrived. We talked as our team about still being a hunter. Because outside of us, who else believes, right? Who else believes that this could happen? So we understand what else we have to do and where else we have to go. So it does feel real. These guys make it real. How connected they are, how we continue to fight. We find a way. And that's a testament to these young men. That's a testament to the staff. Everything that's happening right now has been part of the process. And yes, there's things we have to continue to do to continue this process. But yes, it's real. It's real. Like what we're achieving right now is not a mistake. It's not a facade. It's real.
For sure. I got to put something up here, man, because you said this in the press conference. You said this. I remember you said this, and specifically, this is the one that kind of gave me cause to pause when you said it. And I can play it back for people, but I got to put this up on the screen real quick because this is first time in history.
Yeah.
First time in history. This is the poll. For those who are watching, this is the poll, not the preseason poll. This is the in-season poll for Division II basketball across the board, not just the SIAC, but Division II across the board. At week 10 for men's basketball, and this is their poll or their projection of how they think the national tournament is going to look. And if we scroll down to the South region, what do we see right here at number 10 is we got the Edward Waters Tigers, man. Man, that is Huff. I'm telling you, man, this is something. I tweeted out to you guys, and you and Brett and Reedy, and I was like, man, I just really hope that y'all taking enough time out to appreciate what it is that you guys are accomplishing. And Brett immediate response was like, nope, we working. But I had to put this up. I know Reedy said coach's poll, but this is another level of respect. What is this when you see this? I knew you envisioned it because you said it from day one. But everybody's dream doesn't come true. This is something that you guys turned into a reality, man. How does that feel?
I mean, we've got to finish the deal now. I mean, that's no mistake about it. We got to finish the deal, but to put ourselves in a position, right, in year 2 is great. but now it's the standard. As Coach Reed just put up there, it's the standard now, right? So if we want to play with those big boys, the Novas and the Florida Southerns and those kind of people, like, and you look at that list and you say, well, what do we got to do to be there? It starts with the standard. And we tell our guys that every day. It's not just a standard of where we want to be in the SIAC. It's a standard of where we want to be nationally. And to do that, that means you got to bring your hard hat, your lunch pail every day, from coaches to players. And we've got to do that. We can't take excuses. We can't take days off. So that goes back to why you got to be ready every day. And it's just a mentality that we got to have, man. I mean, you look at that list and you say, Valdosta State, they've been there before. Nova, they've been there before. Florida Southern, they've been there before. Tampa has been there. Like, you look at guys like teams and programs, like they've been there. Miles above, like Miles is a perennial winner in our league.
Yes.
So what do we have to do to be a perennial winner? So it's just the standard. And we feel right now is just the start of it being a standard for us.
Man, I would love to see. I do believe a rising tide lifts all boats. I didn't always like that statement, but I've learned that it is true. And I hope you did mention Miles is normally that standard bearer. But I do hope to see that a rising tide with you, what Albany State is doing, what Morehouse has been doing, what Clark has done, does lift up the entirety of the league, because I do believe that this is a great league. And
can we become a league that can get more than 1 or 2 bids every year? That's
agreed.
Like, that's what we need to, like, 4 teams last year that had 20 plus wins, right?
Yep.
So, like, that's just if we as an overall in our league can say that's what we're trying to accomplish. But when they start talking about who's going to the D2 tournament, and you're like, well, we're gonna get 3 in at least. Like, and then we will start getting the respect that this conference deserves. I
agree. SIAC, I'm only hard on you because I believe in the product that you have. There's great basketball in this league, not just good. There's great basketball in this league, but they need the support of everybody. They need the support of we all got to be pulling in the same direction. And if there's one thing, I'll always talk about my hometown Louisville Cardinals. That is the school that I will just never give up on. As bad for them as Huff is about his Georgia teams. And one thing that I have noticed about Pat Kelsey, where he says all 25 a lot, because he includes staff.
Mm-hmm.
And now he understands that his staff at Louisville in the athletic department is a lot bigger than what he had at College of Charleston. So it's more than 25, but he kept the slogan. But I do believe that is the case. To get this product to where it needs to be, appreciate Dr. Faison. He's been on here supporting the show. Dr. Rich, she's done, just a fantastic, amazing job at the school. So EWU as administration is on board. Conference has to be on board. Students have to be. Everybody's got to be on board to get it to where we need to be. But congratulations, though, brothers. I know, you can't win the Division II national title until you get recognized in the first poll. And then from there, we know we got to take care of business in the SIAC. But hey, man, this is one step, and I couldn't let that go without acknowledging this step. Coach, before we get out of here, do you want to talk about the Nest?
Yeah, man, that's a big thing that Dr. Rich has done for athletics. It's a place where anybody in athletics can go and get mentally recharged, man. We know how big we have overlooked mental health and that aspect of our student athletes for so long. So to be able to have a space in Adams Jenkins that's dedicated to them, and they're recharging and refreshing their mental and their mental health is really big for us. And that happened on this past Monday. Although we were away, they christened and opened that space for our student athletes.
Man, we've seen a lot since you've been on staff here, 2 seasons, and we've seen improvements all across campus and in athletics. So the hits just keep coming. Ah, man, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, now I'm coming to take a nap in here, man. Coming to take a nap in there. That's fantastic, Coach. Any final words, man? Do you want any final words about your administration or the students? Any of that stuff that
Man,
you've experienced?
you're only as good as your administration, and I don't know if you can have a better one that's calling you after a win or a loss. Coach, we'll get them next time. Great win, or that's going to pull up to a road game. It's easy to be at home, but it's going to pull up to a road game.
For sure.
And be cheering just as hard. So shout out to Prez, Dr. A. Zachary Faison, and to Dr. Rich. I tell anybody, I don't care what level you're in sports, you're only good as your administration. So we're only where we are because of our administration and how they support us. And we're so thankful for that. And can't wait till these students get another chance to see us at home. We've got to take care of business on Saturday on the road, but then we get that home stand. And like I said, that game, the AME round ball rivalry versus Allen, that's February 8th. So we want that thing packed out. Greek night and pack it out for the AME rivalry, round ball rivalry.
Gotta be there. Gotta be there. Hey, by bus, by train, by plane, get to Savannah State this weekend, and then make sure you're at home next Saturday at Allen, man. So until next time, Coach, did we forget anything?
I think we covered it all, man.
All
Trey
right.
Young should be an all-star. I'm sorry.
I actually agree. And applaud to the Hawks. I see the vision. Mission not complete. I get it, but I see it now. Congratulations, Atlanta Hawks. You look like a basketball team. All right.
Something.
Until next time, man. We'll see you guys.